What if
Oh god.
they
She like
pricked her fingers?
I was supposed to say pricked her finger like Little Shop of Horrors and just like squeezed it everywhere.
I just had the pleasure of watching an hour-and-a-half podcast of these two really, really kind girls talk about me and call me a clout goblin about 765 times. What I find to be ironic is that they have an hour-and-a-half podcast talking about me. So who is the one chasing the clout here?
But that comment that called you to the one girl, you know how in like your notifications
This rug absolutely broke the internet. This woman named Katie went from 6,000 followers to over 2 million in a matter of days. And now that the dust has started to settle a bit, some people have started to take a step back and look at what the hell really happened. Is this Katie girl kind of problematic? What does this say about us as a society and internet culture? And of course, some good old drama and beef. Mainly the drama between her and the Do We Know Them podcast hosts, Jessi and Lily. Let's get into it. If you somehow missed the entire rug saga, it's a 29-part series on Katie's TikTok where she documents finding a rolled up rug buried in her yard when her family was digging to try and install a fence. She opens her first video wondering if her house could be haunted since overnight her laptop screen shattered and her work desk was a little bit disheveled, and this all happened after they had found the rug in the yard. She also noted that her stepson told her that his phone was at 100% charged when he slept, but then woke up to it being at 3%, which apparently has something to do with ghosts. So she shows the viewers part of the rug that was uncovered from digging in their yard, but they can't dig up the rest of it out because it's just way too deep, and there's just no way you're pulling that rug out of the ground in its current state. People pretty quickly start speculating that it could be a body rolled up in the rug and buried in the ground, and they are heavily invested in finding it out. People tell her to call the cops, so she does, and then they do come and take a look and call the homicide unit. When talking about this, she does mention, wouldn't it be kind of cool if there is a body?
First, the cops also think it's weird as, and they were like talking about calling homicide. They were talking about how they'd have to get excavators out here. Like they were fully invested just as much as we all are. And then he was like, okay, let me call my boss man and we will figure out what to do. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna call homicide? This is fucking nuts. I'm gonna be in my own episode of true crime. R.I.P. Truly. R.I.P. But holy shit, would that not be kind of cool?
Ultimately, the cops tell her that they aren't going to invest resources into digging up the rug themselves since there's no reason for them to expect it's anything criminal, but they do tell her if she digs it up herself and there's something concerning, she should just call them again. So she was gonna end the series there, but a lot of people were encouraging her to keep at it to find out the truth. Katie was saying that she doesn't have the money to get an excavator to dig this rug out of the ground, so she just wasn't gonna do it, but then people were giving her advice on next steps and offering to come and help her dig it out themselves. The internet was doing its thing. They were not going to let her move on, but at the same time, it seemed that Katie was enjoying making videos about it anyway. Then in one chatting video of hers, she tells a story about a neighbor that passed away with no family members and says that she could be the ghost haunting her.
He mentioned that he was the one who came when the next door neighbor died. My neighbor died in their house, and she can't haunt a house that is literally destroyed, right? Like, who the fuck is she gonna haunt? That's no fun. That would be boring. Why not haunt the next door neighbor? The same day that my computer gets broken and my desk gets strewn about, they started boarding up the dead lady's house. It feels sus. It feels like, hey, if they're gonna board up my house, I'm just gonna hop over to the next house and haunt them and their day up, and they also just started digging up a rug, so like this will be so fun. If I was a ghost and I was a dead lady who had no family, because the cop told me she also had no family, so she has no one better to haunt. If I was her, I would haunt me. That would be fun. So anyways, yes, we will get this rug out. I swear to you, I promise we will. Secondly, are we now thinking potentially if the rug happens to not have a dead body, fingers crossed, is it the neighbor? Is it my dead neighbor that died the day I moved into this house, mind you? Dead neighbor dies the day I move into this house. The day they're boarding up her house, my computer gets shattered and she has no family. She has no one better to haunt. So I don't know. What are we thinking?
This didn't sit right with a group of people. She takes a very real situation of her neighbor unfortunately not having any family when they passed away and making fun of it to then fit into some supernatural storyline for entertainment. She does end up getting connected to the previous owner of the house's daughter through her listing agent to try and get more information on the past owners. The daughter didn't know anything about the rug and ruled out the possibility of it being like buried pet remains. Katie then says this about what she's asked the daughter to do.
These
is going to drive her ass to the nursing home where her 90 and 95-year-old mother and father live and berate them for the answers for us. She is going to see what they know and if they know what is in the rug and why the rug is there. I think the real estate agent that I was talking to is also highly invested at this point. But at the end of the day, the daughter's got a job to do. And so she can't go to the nursing home until tonight. We have to wait for her to go see mom and dad at the nursing home and hope that their dementia has not wiped the memory of the rug. And for the love of God, those of you saying I'm doing this for clout, am I like, no. We're trying to figure out what's in the rug and who broke my computer.
Berating a 90 and 95-year-old in a nursing home and making a joke about dementia is definitely weird behavior to me. People have made comments about this and she always responds saying that it's just her sense of humor. I can understand making jokes about your own situations and trauma, but to make a joke like that about someone else feels too insensitive. I don't know if she knows they have dementia or she's just making a joke about elderly people having dementia in general. I'm also not really sure what that half dance thing she did at the end was, like if she's implying that people doing dances on TikTok is only for clout. So she doesn't end up hearing anything back from those previous owners. I'll spare you minor details, so fast forward a few parts. She actually ends up getting a call from the police department saying that they will come and bring their cadaver dogs. And if the dogs hit, meaning that they found some trace of blood on the rug, then they'll dig up the rug themselves. So the cadaver dogs come, she live streams it, and the dogs actually both hit. Each dog did it separately, and they did both sit by the hole. Katie said she cried on the live stream with over 100,000 viewers. And then there's like 6 more TikToks of her processing the entire thing and the dig starting and getting paused, but we're just gonna skip to the good stuff. What was in the dang rug? Nothing. Nothing was in the rug. They dug it up and it was just an old rug and some old rubber.
You guys, they have recovered the hole, and this has been the most absurd, insane experience of my life. What did they find? No, they didn't find a body. They found a mother effing rug with some rubber. The question remains of why did the dogs hit? I don't know. Both dogs, not just one, 2. I don't know. The other question remains is who broke my laptop? I'm so confused. There's no body. There's no body. Honestly, let's praise the Lord. There's no body. But who broke my laptop? Who broke the laptop? Because we've still got the next door neighbor that died the day I moved in. Her house got boarded up the day my computer got broken. So I don't know. It's almost Halloween. Do I need a psychic to come to my house? I don't know. But the mystery of the effing rug is solved. There's no body. Yay!
So the rug mystery is over, but she hasn't let go of her neighbor that passed away and her laptop shattering. She continues posting videos talking about the theories, her neighbor, other mysterious things going on in her home, getting a psychic medium to speak to her, etc. During this entire series, or season as they like to call it, Katie gained over 2 million followers. But with a lot of attention also comes criticism. A couple weeks after we all found out nothing was in the rug, she posted a video addressing people she said bullied her on a podcast.
I just wanted to come on here really quickly and let you know that what you will never see on my page is being really mean, spreading misinformation, spreading lies, and making a random 34-year-old mom in Ohio cry. That's what you won't see. I just had the pleasure of watching an hour-and-a-half podcast of these 2 really, really kind girls talk about me and call me a clout goblin about 765 times. What I find to be ironic is that they have an hour-and-a-half podcast talking about me. So who is the one chasing the clout here? I don't know, but I don't think it's me. I don't think it's me. I sent a lovely DM asking to send them screenshots so that I can prove all of their lies wrong. Will they give a shit? Probably not. They don't seem like the kind of girls who would. So I just wanted to let you know what you will and will not see here on my page. Will I make you laugh? I hope so. Could I make you cry? I don't know. Maybe. I like to be vulnerable. I like to talk about hard shit. Did I end up with 2 million followers after this entire escapade? Yes, we can all look at my profile and see that. Should I never post again because of it? Is every post I make ever again from now on for the rest of time clout chasing? What would you like me to do? Delete my TikTok and start over? I think that sounds silly. But let me tell you, I also think it's silly to spend an hour and a half in the year of the Eras Tour to go onto a podcast to bully someone who you don't know, to bully someone who was absolutely normal and had 5,000 followers 2 weeks ago and was posting about her miscarriage. That's what you choose to do with your time. That's what you choose to do with your voice. That's what you choose to do with your platform. You do you, girls. It won't be here. It won't be happening here. So you can trust that anytime you see me on your feed, it will be kindness. It will be laughter. It could be tears. It will be anything but bullying.
So Katie doesn't name the podcast outright, but people do digging, obviously, and eventually it's discovered who it's all about, so let's just get into that. Katie was calling out the Do We Know Them podcast with hosts Jessi and Lily. They're two girlies sharing their honest opinions on things going on usually internet topics, pretty similar to what I like to discuss here. They also make some jokes along the way. They theorize, they speculate, honestly, pretty standard stuff. That's kind of what happens when things happen online. People discuss it. Katie was saying that they were bullying her and making up lies about her in their podcast episode, The Rug That Broke the Internet, Is This TikToker Haunted or a Clout Goblin? A lot of people commented on Katie's video supporting her, and some people started talking bad about Jessi and Lily. But if you watch the actual podcast episode, it's not really giving bullying and it's not really giving lies. It's giving just sharing an opinion on a viral internet story and making some jokes because, hey, content is made to be entertaining. You're gonna comment about stuff on a commentary channel. So then Jessi and Lily follow up with another podcast episode responding to Katie's response to them, and they clapped back with receipts. Well, Jessi and Lily do call Katie a clout goblin, which is essentially a clout chaser, saying that it's not a crime, it's just tacky. I don't know if I personally think that Katie is just some clout goblin. I don't think she behaved that differently than the average person might have in her situation. But to think she's a clout goblin is not bullying, it's just an opinion. Jessi and Lily also criticized Katie for the way that she decided to bring the whole story onto the internet, considering the fact that she didn't know whether or not there was a dead body in the rug. Katie had said multiple times in her videos that she hoped there wasn't a body, but she also couldn't have been blind to the fact that the reason so much attention was on her story was the idea that there could be a dead body. But don't get me wrong, it's not her fault that people got so invested. It does highlight a very real issue that society has nowadays with true crime content. It's become more and more just entertainment and everyone's becoming desensitized. I'm guilty of this as well. So I don't really feel like what was brought up in the podcast was a personal attack against Katie. It's really just a comment on society as a whole. They also didn't love the fact that she tried to sell merch and then deleted it after she got some backlash over it. Initially, when commenters asked Katie why she made the merch, she said that in her mind there was no body in the rug, which Jessi and Lily say doesn't really make sense since Katie had also said that she hoped that she could potentially give closure to some family. But personally, I feel like even if Katie really didn't think there was a body in there, it doesn't suddenly make it not insensitive to make merch around the whole situation, since there could be a body. And a huge chunk of the people you're trying to sell the merch to did believe that there was a body. And then what if there ended up really being a body, and then you would have already been selling all of this merch? Katie said that they spread lies about her pricking her finger to get blood on the rug for the dogs to hit, but this is what was really said.
I had a thought. What is it?
What if
Oh god.
she like pricked her finger?
I was about to say pricked her finger like Little Shop of Horrors and just like squeezed it everywhere. No, but I think that they're specifically, it's not blood. I think they are like dead body dogs.
It is.
Oh, it's
no,
blood?
the police say blood.
No.
Because that's what they keep referencing, a nosebleed.
Oh my god. Oh, that's what she did. Allegedly. But absolutely.
They Googled it before they found out cadaver dogs were coming. Like, what do they smell for?
Shut the
I'm not really saying that happened, but I wouldn't doubt it.
But like, no, because imagine then they see her blood, let's say, or maybe she just put one drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that's the thing, is the biggest thing about cadaver dogs is like they can smell a drop of blood when it's underground. So it's like, and like it's in dirt, you wouldn't be able to see it.
That would be a level of clout goblinery that CCR would quake at. Like, that is seriously just another world. I would be so
Right, and,
shocked.
like, I'm not accusing her of doing
But
that.
we're
I'm
just
saying
exploring, just like she explored
I'm just
several
exploring the
theories.
options. She's a big theory girl.
Yeah,
So.
we're just looking into it.
Like, be so for real, they were clearly joking around. I don't think anyone watching would think that they were serious, especially given the general tone of their video. And then another thing is that Katie had made a video saying that the money that she earned from TikTok was stolen. Basically, she fell for like an email phishing scam, and then she got hacked, and then the hackers took her earnings, and then she was able to resecure her account, but no more money. Katie said that Jessi and Lily lied when saying that she lied about the robbery happening, but in the same podcast episode, Lily retracts her speculation about that because she wasn't aware of the difference between the TikTok Creativity Program earnings and TikTok Live earnings.
What I've seen from a lot of people is that everyone thinks she's lying, which honestly, I was on board with that too. But I did look into it a little more, and she does say specifically that it was the live stream revenue. So it was the money she made from her live. Apparently that money does not go into the same place as the money you would be making just from your normal videos. So that, I guess, is what she's saying that was stolen, which, sure, we can believe that now.
So to be clear, it's definitely possible for money earned through the TikTok lives to be stolen, since it's not kept in the same place as money earned from the creativity program. Money from TikToks in the creativity program only get cashed out monthly, versus from live streams, there's a much shorter window to when that money is accessible to be withdrawn. So Katie's story definitely checks out. I don't think she was lying about that. But honestly, two girls in a podcast speculating that you may have lied about something, is that really them spreading misinformation? They didn't go on their podcast to say definitively Katie lied about her story because this, and this. And people lie on the internet all the time, so I don't blame anyone for being skeptical of anything that they see. If anything, I think we should all be more skeptical. Lily does admit that she was wrong with her estimation of Katie's income from her rug series. Lily was originally estimating that Katie made on the low end over $130,000, but one big piece of information that Lily was missing in their first episode on the topic is that TikTok only pays creators for views coming from the For You page. So all the views that came from people going straight to Katie's page to watch her content, or people viewing things that was shared to them, or from the following tab, etc., would not be giving any money. But they do correct it in their follow-up videos, and at the end of the day, it was speculation and was always presented as speculation. So while it is misleading, I wouldn't say they were lying or even intentionally spreading misinformation. And if you're wondering, Katie has said she's only made about $5,000 from the creativity program and only $800 from her live streams. They do get into contact with Katie via DMs, and they call her out for engaging with comments that are bullying, comments that are literally calling them B words and C words, and Katie responds with this voice message.
But that comment that called you to the one girl, you know how in your notifications you can only see the first sentence of a comment? I had only seen the beginning of it where they said, is it the girl that had drama with... And so when I said correct, I was saying correct to that. I didn't even know that the rest of the comment said that until I saw a screenshot of it, and I've tried to find it to delete it. I cannot find it in the however many comments there are. So lesson learned there, respond to comments on the video so that I can read the whole thing versus just in the thread where I can see the first few words.
Her response doesn't make sense because what she's referring to are two separate comments like this, one of them referring to the beef and one of them calling them C words. When Jessi tells her this and shows her the comments, her response is this, which you can pause to fully read, but it doesn't address the fact that they are two separate comments, and she just said the same thing in her voice memo that already didn't really make sense. Jessi and Lily end up writing the same comment on a video to test what it looks like in the notification tab and if it really does get cut off. And while it's true that a notification will eventually cut off the text, for that message they were asking about in particular, Katie should have been able to read the entire thing. Which is just hypocritical, because how are you going to say that you don't stand for bullying but then engage with comments like that? And she's lying to their faces, saying that she didn't know these comments said these bad things in an effort to just stay more of the moral person in this argument. Katie also insinuated that Jessi and Lily are just jealous of her 2.2 million followers after she liked this comment. This is so wild to me because not everything is about jealousy. I hate when you're not allowed to provide criticism or commentary on something, because if you're anything but positive, you're immediately just jealous. And this applies to other aspects of life too, not just followers on social media, but just the fact that anytime someone might have an issue with what you said, the defense is oh, you're just jealous. Sure, that can be the case sometimes, but also maybe there's actually something wrong that needs to be called out. They also pointed out that Katie addressed the backlash on her dementia joke by saying that her own grandpa had dementia, and that she's joked about her own miscarriage in the past, and it's just her sense of humor. Jessi and Lily say that dark humor is fine, but when you joke about other people's past trauma, that's not fine. Just because you go through something traumatic doesn't suddenly make you allowed to make jokes about other people going through similar or same things. I just find it pretty ironic that this is Katie's energy in regards to her own jokes, but immediately went to say that Jessi and Lily were bullying her for their own jokes and their commentary on her situation. So making jokes about someone doing something for clout is not okay, but joking about a real elderly couple losing their memory from dementia is fine. Now, to wrap up my thoughts, I definitely think it's okay to commentate on what other people post online. Although something isn't positive, it's not automatically bullying. That being said, the experience of going from a small creator to a huge creator seemingly overnight must be jarring, so I do want to give her some amount of grace for not knowing how to navigate that type of attention and interactions online. I don't think she's some evil person, clout goblin chaser with like no morals. I just feel like there were and are valid criticisms of what went down. No one asked her to like criticisms and jokes about herself, but don't act like you don't stand for bullying and then also support bullying just because it's in your favor at the time. Let me be clear, I don't think anyone involved here deserves any hate. Like a lot of the topics we discussed, it's not really that serious, but just entertaining to recap and talk about what we think. So thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. I'm sorry for being away for the last few weeks. I was busy with some personal things and I really missed posting. From now to the end of the year, I'm gonna be doing a bit of traveling, so apologies if the setup is kind of weird or like inconsistent. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. I really appreciate you guys and I'll see you next time. Bye.